Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Adam Lazar, and I'm the CEO and founder of Asarasi. We're a tree source water company, and we actually harvest the byproducts of the maple industry, helping farmers be better farmers. Really, that's why we're here. So thank you for having us at Grow New York. We are incredibly excited to be here. And frankly, we're an award-winning company that helps farmers, and we are already established and authentic to the region. Now, why are we here? Water scarcity is a tremendous global problem, and it's affecting everyone, not just across the world, but right here in the United States as well. You know, the Colorado River is 150 feet away from the dead pool state, meaning that 40 million households will be without water or power in the next decade. That's a scary, scary thought. So when we look at farms, maple farms specifically, maple farms throw away 1 billion gallons of sugar-free maple sap every year, one of the purest forms of water in the world. And we partnered with over 110 family farms, creating a unique opportunity for these farms to double their money on their crops with very little extra labor. Take these farms, for example, Roxbury Mountain Maple or Sprague's Maple Farm throw away millions of gallons of sap. 97% of their hard work goes down the drain. And that's where Asarasi comes in. So how is tree water made? Well, they do all the hard work, and we come in and take the opportunity to help them be better at what they do. So for example, no tree is harmed. They tap the tree, and out of the tree would come an aqueous, clear liquid sap. And inside that sap would be about 3% sugar. They extract that sap at the farm, and the farm does all this hard work, and they create a gallon of maple syrup. Now, for every gallon of maple syrup they produce, they throw away 50 gallons of a byproduct, which is the absolutely purest form of water in the world. And as a natural scarce resource, we have to do something about this. And so this circular economy that's created with these family farms is enormous to their net income and a great opportunity for our business. As I mentioned, we double their profit on their existing crop with very little extra labor. So for every gallon of maple sugar a farmer produces, they make about $5. When we come in, we pay them additional $5 per gallon of syrup. You can see our farms in the region in blue. Those are all of our farms that we partnered with today. And look at the opportunity with 1,600 farms in New York alone. It's a fully scalable solution, meaning that 1 billion gallons is enough to rival any Pellegrino, Perrier, Voss, any of the major giants with Asarasi. And with 92 million potential taps in the state of New York, it is the most underutilized natural resource that New York State has. And so that's how we can be a huge benefit to not just the state, but the region. Now, we talked a little bit about bottled water, and we do make bottled water products, but we're an ingredient innovation platform for any product that uses water as a base. And why would anyone want to use water as a base? Well, it reduces your water footprint. It gives you plant-based organic claims that you can't make with municipal water as 100% products. We actually put our products into retail bottles, like our products, in aluminum and glass, as well as from baby formula to beer. And we've made beer with Anheuser-Busch. And in the process, farmers double their money, so great impact. Now, the bottled water category is a $200 billion market and growing rapidly because we love to consume our bottled water. Almost every single one of you has one at your table right now. And we can carve out a $20 billion market opportunity with this byproduct, giving farmers this huge advantage that they need. And so the investment that you're about to make in Asarasi is an investment directly in the farms. Now, we focus our products into the premium water market specifically because we have a unique value proposition in purity and quality and taste. So a $6 billion addressable premium water market growing at 16% a year. Now, there's a lot of data here, and I'll just truncate it for you. Anheuser-Busch sent me this data, and they said that of all the beverages launched in the last 3 years, 72% of them had environmental and ethical claims. And Asarasi is authentically that. We don't have to make up a marketing story. Our product is the story. Now, when it comes to purity, bar none, Asarasi is the purest form of water in the world. And that's simply because the tree does a lot of amazing work, drinking groundwater, transpiring that through its crown, and we tap into that living well, that ecosystem, creating this pure water. Now, who here wants radium-226 uranium in their water? Anyone? I didn't think so. No. And at the end of the day, all these products that you see here, except for Asarasi, has those in their beverages. So we have a phenomenal team, and I've been blessed to be joined by the likes of Green Bay all-time wide receiver Donald Driver, or David Dill, Super Bowl champion New York Giant, and Wendy Moss, our director of sales, who day-to-day help us grow our business. The feedback from the judges last year said, you need celebrities, you need awareness, and you need people to help move the needle. And so we came and used that feedback and brought our A game. We also see a lot of folks here that you might recognize, and I won't go through each one of their names, However, these folks have all subscribed to our business simply for one reason only, that this idea is bigger than themselves. As big as these people are, they know the world needs sustainability, health and wellness, and they know that we need to make the world a better place for our future generations. Now, we've had a lot of amazing growth. We were on-premise business, focused pre-pandemic, and we focused that from food service on to grocery because of the pandemic. And since then, we've had investments from Anheuser-Busch, a partnership with the Nature Conservancy. We had the leading, largest SEC Regulation CF proud fundraise in the history, and as a CPG company in their history, with 2,700 investors coming in over the last 18 months because people love our idea. The Nature Conservancy partnered with Asarasi because 50% of all of our water starts in our forests. And so that transpiration cycle, that water cycle that starts in the forest, is a great cause connection to where our water comes from, the forest. Now, all of our products are 100% tree sourced. They're organic, they're health and wellness focused for you and the planet. So you don't have to compromise your wallet at the price points you see here. This is what we sell our products for, not because we can't get more, but because we want everybody to do the right thing without compromising their wallet. Walmart is bringing us into 500 stores next year simply because they believe in sustainability, in sustainable waters. I told you we made products with Anheuser-Busch in beer. We made two of the fastest selling beverages that they ever put in their draft rooms, simply because for the very first time, their products had a backstory. Oh, they taste great and they had legacy around them, but the backstory around zero groundwater beer was an amazing sustainability proposition to those companies. Now, for the first time ever, publicly, we're announcing right here today on this stage that we've launched a mixer partnership with Purity Organic Vodka, a New York City headquartered company. They'll give us access to the spirits channel to 10,000 liquor stores that distribute their products, which gives us great access to liquor as a distribution channel we didn't have access to previously. So our business is continuing to grow in ways we never even anticipated. Our growth, as you can imagine, 1 million bottles distributed a day. 1 million people have said, we love your products. We had little dips in our revenue from the pandemic. I don't know whose didn't. And we pivoted to grocery. We launched 9 new SKUs of 4-pack products for the shelf and created 4 new flavors. And our e-commerce business is growing. The viability, we're an investable business. We've raised $2.2 million and we continue to grow. And with 6,000 stores under review for distribution through Walmart, Whole Foods, Meijer, Giant, and Shaw's, many of whom have already said yes to our brand for next year at Q1 and Q2, we could be a $25 million company in just a few short years. And consumers love our products, right? They just tell us all the time. Thousands of people have said, this is amazing, best tasting water, and the list goes on and on and on. And I'll digress, because why are we here? In the business development phase of the competition, we partnered with 30 different unique businesses, 25 maple farmers right here in the Grow New York region, and 5 different packaging and manufacturing partners, as well as Cornell. So for example, Ironheart Canning, located in the Finger Lakes, they have 75 mobile bottling units that can deliver and deploy manufacturing directly to the farms, giving them instant access to manufacturing they didn't have. That's a huge win for the farms and a huge win for our business. The Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, a National Industries of the Blind shop, they do all of our pick, pack, and ship right out of here, Syracuse. They do an amazing job, and it's a growth opportunity for our business as well. Now, I met with the Center of Excellence, New York State Empire Development, Ontario County, and Geneva, the city of Geneva, and all of them said, we want to back your project to the tune of $3 million in soft commitments. So with your $1 million investment, we will bring a 4x return on that investment immediately to invest in these farms and in the region by building a beverage manufacturing center right at the Center of Excellence. Now, this is a partnership. This is a two-way street. It's not about how much can you give me. It's about how can we give back to our community. And so in this way, Cornell will be able to launch new beverages that they produce out of the Center of Excellence, giving back to our community at the same time they're giving to us. So, in summary, economic development, we spoke to all the players, Cornell, Empire State, Ontario, Geneva, and M&T Bank brings a $750,000 line of credit to the opportunity, which is amazing. We talked to 25 maple producers that said, yeah, we're in. All of the packaging fulfillment partners, Anchor Glass, Advanced Metal Tanks to support the liquid storage on the farms. Ironheart Canning and Cavvy are all here in the region already and executing with our business. So, regardless of the investment level, whether it's the $250, the $500, or the $1 million, we will headquarter our business in the region from Westchester County to Ontario County. We will create jobs. We will bring indirect jobs through manufacturing and purchases and investments at the farms of equipment, and capabilities that they didn't have before. And with the $1 million investment, we will create a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility right here at the Cornell Center of Excellence, giving huge competitive advantage to not just Asarasi, but Cornell. So if you want to invest in New York, invest in Asarasi, because in order to grow New York, you got to grow Asarasi. So thank you very much for having me. I'd now like to invite my co-founder of strategy and growth, all-time wide receiver, Green Bay Packer, Donald Driver, and Dancing with the Stars winner. Please come to the stage, Donald.
Great job, great job. So we have, welcome.
Good job, babe, good job.
So we have 9.5 minutes for questions, and we have a few. Over to you, Mary.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. It's great to see you back this year.
Thank you.
I continue to be intrigued by this notion as Asarasi as a water innovation platform. And so you talk about these two pieces. You're building the branded business, and you're also though working with these, thinking about ingredient manufacturers and going into products like Anheuser-Busch. And you kind of explain to me the strategy as you're talking to those different, very different channels, and how, which one you think is going to be most valuable over time?
Well, that's a wonderful question. I'm glad you asked it. I started the branded business to prove that there was a product market fit for the ingredient. In order to do that, it's chicken and egg. You had to prove there was market viability. And so I grew the branded products business to showcase that. And now, with opportunities with Anheuser-Busch or other companies, potentially like whether it's Chobani or Danone or Procter & Gamble or anybody that makes water-based products, they too can benefit as a result. And really our focus is not about products, it's about people. And so our mission as a B Corp to these farms is to help them represent that supply of this byproduct in a significantly meaningful way, deploying that in any way that makes sense to help elevate the status of the farm from farms that scratch by to farms that are highly profitable.
Great. Annie Greven, do you have a question?
Great presentation. Very exciting to think about water coming from a new source or an old source. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to ask you was really about, you have been doing this for a while. What is your goal here in terms of when are you at your breakout sort of pinnacle of your business?
Well, and I'm glad you asked it because, Donald, I think that's why you're here, right?
Yeah, I would say this. I think it goes back to the core values of what we believe in, right? And that goes back when you talk about perseverance, you talk about belief, you talk about love, you talk about a purpose. But then you also have to have a drive. And Asarasi has been around for 7 years. I've been a part of it for a year now. And the first thing we talk about is how do we continue to have that perseverance? When people say you cannot become something, you become something even special. But then you have to believe in the product. And that's what I did. When Adam called me, he wanted me to be a part of it. The first thing I thought about is, okay, tree water, is this even possible? And it's organic. I said, he just wants another celebrity to invest his money, but not his time. But you have to believe in the product. So I invested my time. And that's why we were blessed to be able to have relationships with Central Market. Good friend of mine is a buyer for Central Market. We in Central Market. We got in Festival Foods. We're now in Northwestern Mutual because we believe in the product. But then you have to have a love for it. You have to care about the people that you serve every single day. But then when you have that, you have a purpose. And that's the purpose that we do, is we have a purpose that we want to change the culture of what we see. But then you have to have a drive. And that's why we're here today, to prove to you guys that we can be the best water in the world.
Well, and Donald, to piggyback on that, why is Walmart engaging with us? Why is Myers grocery stores saying we're going to put your products on the shelf? Why is Whole Foods calling us? These folks are calling us because of the relationships that you can bring to bear. So our breakout is building this celebrity cachet around the business that people will stand up and pay attention. Because you have to break through that layer of insulation of yet millions of Me Too products out there, differentiate with the product, differentiate with performance, differentiate significantly by impact. And when they break the layer of insulation, and Donald, you have a very unique ability to do that. So,
well, thank you. I'm so glad I paid you to say that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, maybe we'll toss another question in from the judges here. Laura, why don't you go?
Hi. Well, I'm the farmer in the group, so I'm thinking about logistics. So I know that maple farms are scattered around. Mm-hmm. They're small. How practical is, and it's also short season. Practical to get the water, which I'm sure farmers are happy to have another market for something that they normally throw away. I can imagine that they're very interested. So
how do you, did I understand that a canning line can come right to the farm?
Right.
Or you put it in some bulk thing and then move it? I just don't get how that works.
Yeah, so today we bring tanker trucks in and move it somewhere else, which isn't as sustainable as manufacturing on site. So reduce our carbon footprint and help the farm be more involved and engaged in our operation. We bring now the manufacturing to the farm. So they already are in the liquid tank business because they harvest millions upon millions of gallons of maple sap that they have to manage in the process throughout the season. Post the season, they use that same equipment to store this highly shelf-stable raw ingredient, pure water, in these tanks. And so that's where we come in, and we bring in the bottling, and we can draw down the entire season, and produce as much as we can in the season, but yet throughout the year have a completely shelf-stable ingredient supply chain that lives right at the farm. So today we have about 5 million gallons of capacity storage right on site at farms across this region. So we're making sure that the farmer doesn't have to make any additional investments, that they don't have to do any additional work than they're already doing, and yet they harvest and reap the reward of all the work that they've put in.
And there's enough of that in that short season to produce all that you need for the whole season.
A billion gallons are produced every single season in the maple industry, and so that gets tanked up. If even 5% of that gets tanked up, we have enough product to rival Pellegrino. So it's very easy to work with the farms to do that. We represent over 110 family farms, and that 110 family farm network gives us tens of millions of the gallons of storage and support. So very easy to execute and win against the largest players.
Let's cut back to Annie, and then we'll go to you, John, if that's okay. We'll go back to you, Annie, for a follow-up.
So one other question, and this might be a subtlety that I'm missing. Are you a water product, or are you a water ingredient?
We are, well, both. We are a water product. The water itself is an ingredient, so it allows us to leverage that platform. Think about the Intel inside of a baby formula that was 100% plant-based, for example, and I'm using that loosely, or an oat milk or an almond milk. That allows us to drive awareness to our branded products as the Intel inside of those products, and it also gives us that performance, a cachet, and awareness around our branded bottled products. So it is, because it's a raw ingredient and in its finished form is also the same raw ingredient, it's both.
So we could see your brand, on a product, like.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. John Eng.
Yeah, nice product you got here. But related to Laura's question, what is the smallest farm you can work with before the logistical cost makes it unfeasible?
Even the smallest farm, 100 gallons, 500 gallons of syrup produced, which is technically a very small producer, produces thousands of gallons of pure water. And so our capacity on a mobile bottling unit, they'll use about 1,500 gallons to run an entire shift. And what's dynamic and flexible about those mobile units is that they deploy for a day or at a time, depending how long you need them there. So if they're running in season, they live inside that facility for as long as that farmer is producing. And so we can use as much or as little as, say, 1,500 gallons to, upwards to some of our farms that produce 1 million plus gallons. So it's flexible and dynamic for all ranges of farms.
We're running a little late on time, but let's jump over to Mary for a follow-up question.
Sure, yeah. So coming back to this huge challenge of introducing a branded product at retail and in other spaces, so you talked about the shelf spot of it, and I think in your application you also talked about kind of that grab and go piece of it. Does it take brand awareness there? Or does it just take locations? Do you have any data? Do consumers buy it again? What's the story?
Yeah, our repeat velocity is enormous in the eclectic markets, so that we've been traditionally in. We will outsell the larger grocery channels just because you have more of an isolated audience or a constricted number of products in that channel, and then become brand loyal and significant adopters. And when you go into mass market, you have to compete with a lot more products on the shelf. But the differentiation is we live in our own key, unique category of tree water. And that's where driving trial and awareness through folks like Donald's efforts and delivering on the the millions of people that follow different celebrities around the world. That's where engaging with people around sustainability and engaging them on things that Donald's focused on, like health and wellness. We have, commercials being planned for large organizations, and we're the official bottled water in Northwestern Mutual with Donald headlining that. And all these retailers are jumping in because they're saying we want to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, just in the same way that all of these other folks have gotten in. And that becomes the marketing piece of part of the story beyond what others have.
Great.
And I'll piggyback off that. I think it builds the relationship, right? I think when you build a relationship, it's easy to get into anything. We've all, every single one of you out sitting at this podium, have built relationships, and that's how you're able to continue the brands and things that you did. The reason why we got into Festival Foods and Central Market is because I have that relationship with the owners and CEOs. And so same thing with Northwestern Mutual. I picked up a phone, made a phone call, and it happened because they believed in the product just like I believed in Adam from a year ago. So it's all about relationships at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's great. Well, we'll draw the line there, blow the whistle, so to speak. Thanks very much. Let's give a hand to Asarasi.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Asarasi. Thank